Hello, darlings, and welcome to another episode of Stories with Scarlet. As you can see, my space is a little bit different this evening, and that's because I am currently in Las Vegas for the When We Were Young festival here. My day was yesterday and had a blast. Really glad I did it. A few of my favorite bands from the day were Drain, The Story So Far, and of course, our headliner, Panic at the Disco. If you saw me and you're watching this episode, please say hi. And yeah, this was actually my dress that I wore yesterday at the festival. I'll have you guys all take a little bit of a peek at it. I absolutely love it. It's becoming one of my new favorite dresses. And thank you so much to everyone that complimented it yesterday. That was incredibly sweet of you. And if you were at the festival, please, again, tell me who your favorites were of the day. I would love to hear about it. All right, we're gonna just do like a couple just quick chapters this evening. As you can see, I don't have Ghost with me. He's currently in doggy daycare, but he will be back soon enough. All right, let's jump right back in to our book, More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. All right. A story that I will be reading this evening is titled The Little Black Dog. Billy Mansfield said that a little black dog followed him wherever he went, but he was the only one who saw it. So people thought he was kind of crazy. To drive the dog away, Billy was always hollering at it, throwing rocks at it, but the dog always came back. The first time Billy saw that dog was the day he fought Silas Burton. Billy was just a young man then, but the Burtons and Billy's family had been feuding for years. When Billy saw Silas riding toward him, he went for his gun, and Burton went for his. But Billy fired first. He hit Burton in the back, knocking him from his horse. Burton's horse ran off, and his gun fell where he couldn't reach it. He lay there on the ground, pleading with Billy not to kill him. But Billy killed him anyway. Burton's little black dog was with him when he was shot. The dog kept licking Burton's face and barking and snarling at Billy. In his anger, Billy killed the dog too. Oh. There wasn't much law enforcement in those days, so Billy wasn't arrested. But all that night, he heard Burton's dog outside his cabin, scratching on his door and barking to be let in. I'm imagining this, Billy said to himself. I shot that dog. It's dead. But the next morning, Billy saw the dog. It was waiting for him outside. From then on there was not a day when he didn't see it. And there wasn't a night when he didn't hear it scratching on his door, barking to be let in. From then on, Billy was always finding black dog hairs on the sofa, on the floor, in his bed, even in his food. And the house and the yard stank of dog. That's what Billy said. Whenever somebody told him there wasn't any dog to see, he'd say, maybe you don't see it, but I do. And I'm not any crazier than you are. Things went on like that for many years. Then one morning in the middle of the winter, the neighbors didn't see any smoke coming out of Billy's chimney. When they went over to check, Billy wasn't there. A day or so later, they found his body lying in the snow in a field in the back of his cabin. Billy had plenty of enemies, and at first it seemed like somebody might have killed him. But there wasn't a mark on his body, and there weren't any footprints out there except for Billy's. The doctor said Billy probably died of old age. But there was something odd about his death. When the neighbors found Billy, there were black dog hairs on his clothes. There were even a few on his face. It smelled like a dog had been out there. Yet no one had seen a dog anywhere. Wow. I'm so happy that dog got its revenge. Good. Justice was served. All right. Let's go ahead. Yeah, we'll do this chapter as our last chapter. Just a little quick episode this evening. This next chapter is called Clinkety Clink. An old lady got sick and died. She had no family and no close friends. So the neighbors got a gravedigger to dig a grave for her. And they had a coffin made, and they placed it in her living room. As was the tradition, they washed her body and dressed her up in the best clothes and put her in the coffin. When she died, her eyes were wide open, staring at everything and seeing nothing. The neighbors found 2 old silver dollars on her dresser, and they put them on her eyelids to keep them closed. They lit candles and sat up with her so that she would not be too lonely on that first night that she was dead. The next morning, a preacher came and said a prayer for her, and everybody went home. Later, the gravedigger arrived to take her to the cemetery and bury her. He stared at the silver dollars on her eyes, and he picked them up. How shiny and smooth they were. How thick and heavy. They're beautiful, he thought. Just beautiful. He looked at the dead woman. With her eyes wide open, he felt she was staring at him, watching him hold her coins. It gave him a creepy feeling. He put the coins back on her eyes, on those eyes of hers to keep them closed. But before he knew it, his hands reached out again and grabbed the coins and stuck them in his pocket. Then he grabbed a hammer and quickly nailed shut the lid on the coffin. "Now you can't see anything," he said to her. Then he took her out to the cemetery and he buried her as fast as he could. When the gravedigger got home, he put the 2 silver dollars in a tin box and shook it. The coins made a cheerful, rattling sound, but the gravedigger wasn't feeling cheerful. He couldn't forget those eyes looking at him. When it got dark, a storm came up and the wind started blowing. It blew all around the house. It came in through the cracks and around the windows and down the chimney. Bazoo, it went. Bazoo. The fire flared and flickered. The gravedigger threw some fresh wood on that fire, got into bed, and pulled the blankets up to his chin. The wind kept blowing. Bazoo, it went. The fire flared and flickered and cast evil-looking shadows on the walls. The gravedigger lay there thinking about the dead woman's eyes just staring at him. The wind blew stronger and louder, and the fire flared and flickered and popped and snapped, and he got more and more scared. Suddenly he heard another sound. Clinkety-clink, clinkety-clink, it went. Clinkety-clink, clinkety-clink. It was the silver dollars rattling in the tin box. "Hey!" the gravedigger shouted. "Who's taking my money?" That's funny. But all he heard was the wind blowing. Bazoo! And the flames flaring and flickering and snapping and popping, and the coins going clinkety-clink, clinkety-clink. He leaped out of bed and chained up the door. Then he hurried back. His head had barely touched the pillow when he heard clinkety-clink, clinkety-clink. Then he heard something way off in the distance. It was a voice crying. "Where is my money? Who got my money? Who? Who?" And the wind blew. Bazoo! And the fire flared and flickered and snapped and popped, and the money went clinkety-clink, clinkety-clink. The gravedigger was really scared. He got out of bed and again piled on the furniture against the door, and he put a heavy iron skillet over the tin box. Then he jumped back into bed and covered his head with the blankets, but the money rattled louder than ever, and way off a voice cried, "Give me my money. Who's got my money? Who? Who?" And the wind blew and the fire flared and flickered and snapped and popped, and the gravedigger shivered and shook and cried, "Oh, Lordy Lord." Suddenly, the front door flew open, and in walked the ghost of the dead woman, and her eyes wide open, staring at everything and seeing nothing. And the wind blew, the zoo, and the money went clinkety-clink, clinkety-clink. And the fire flared and flickered and snapped and popped. And the ghost of the dead woman cried, "Oh, where is my money? Who's got my money? Who? Who? And the gravedigger moaned, "Oh, lordy, lordy." The ghost could hear her money going clinkety clink in the tin box, but her dead eyes couldn't see the box, so she reached out with her arms and tried to find it. The wind went bazoo, and the money rattled clinkety clink, and the fire flared and flickered and snapped and popped, and the gravedigger shivered and shook and moaned, "Oh, lordy, lordy." And the woman cried, "Give me my money. Who's got my money? Who? Who?" Wow. Spooky. Again, folks, this is why you don't mess with the dead. All right. Well, thank you so much for spending your evening with me with a couple of those chapters from one of my favorite books. And I'm so excited to see you next time. Have a good rest of your night. Bye.